right, y'all. Day 2 of long division. Remember these 4 easy steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. So here's our first problem that we're going to solve. 55 in all. So I have 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. 55 in all. 5 groups. How many in each group? So I have 55 is my total. I'm going to put it in my den because it's my dividend, divided by my divisor of 5. So our first step is to divide. How many times does 5 go into 5 tenths? Well, I have 5 tenths, so if I divide into 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is in each group? 1. So 5 goes into 5 one time because 1 times 5 is 5. Divide, multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. Divide, multiply, subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. Bring down the 5. So now I have 5 ones that I need to divide in my 5 groups. How many is in each group? 1. So how many times 5 go into 5? 1 time. 1 times 5 is 5. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. Is there anything more for me to bring down here? Nope. So that means I have 0 remaining. So my quotient that I'm solving for is 11. But I'm always going to check it with multiplication. So I'm going to multiply my 2 smaller numbers to see if it equals my bigger number. So I'm going to take 11 times 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Does that equal my dividend? Check. Because multiplication is the inverse operation of division. All right, so that was just a reminder of yesterday using a sketch. Okay, today I want to show you how to use your dots in a box. So if you did not make a dots in a box last year, you're gonna need it. You're gonna wish you had, and you're gonna do it yourself. Okay. All right. So I have 31 in all. So 31 is my total. 4 groups, divided into 4 groups. So 31 goes in my den because it's my dividend, divided by 4, which is my divisor, and I'm solving for the quotient. All right, so my first step is to divide. How many times does 4 go into 3? Well, one group of 4 is 4, and that's already too much. So 4 does not go into 3 0 times. Divide, multiply. 0 times 4, anything times 0 is 0. Divide, multiply, subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3 because I took nothing away. Subtract and bring it down. Now I want to know, how many times does 4 go into 31? So here's my handy dandy best friend. So I want to know, how many times does 4 go into 31? So here's my 4s. Goes into 31. Well, 32 is a little too much, so I need to go one below. What's on top of the line? 7. And since 7 is on top of the line, it's going to go on top of the line here. Okay? So I divided 31 by 4 equals 7. So divide, multiply. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract. Well, a 3 becomes a 2. That becomes 11. 11 minus 8. 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 3. And 2 minus 2 is 0. Subtract and bring it down. There is no other digit to bring down. So that means that 3 is a remainder. So let's see. So here's a word problem. Let's talk about the remainder. Miss Elder has 31 books. She wants to share the books onto 4 shelves. How many books will be on each shelf? Okay. There will be 7 books on each shelf. So these 3 books won't be able to go on a shelf because I only had 4 shelves. Or the question could be, Miss Elder has 31 books. She wants to place them on 4 shelves. How many books would not fit on the shelves? Well, that would be the answer of 3 because there's a remaining of 3. They did not fit on the shelf. So you got to watch how they are asking their question. All right. Oh, I forgot to check with division with multiplication. I promise I'll catch you on the next one. All right, here's your next problem. 35 in all, 6 groups. How many in each group? So my total is 35. It goes in my den because it's my dividend. I'm going to divide it by 6. So my divisor is 6, and I'm solving for the quotient. Okay, remember our steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. So the first thing is to divide. So I'm going to first divide my tens. How many times does 6 go into 3? Well, one group of 6 is 6, and that's already too much. So 6 cannot go into 3 because 3 is less. Divide, multiply. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. Subtract and bring it down. So now I divide. So how many times, I ask myself, how many times does 6 go into 35? So here's my 6's. How many times does it go into 35? Well, 36 a little bit too much, so I need to go backwards 1. What's on top? 5. So since 5 is on top here, 5 goes on top here. So now divide, multiply. So I just wrote my 5. So 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Divide, multiply, subtract. 35 minus 30 is 5. Subtract and bring it down. There's nothing there to bring down. So that means that 5 represents my remainder of 5. So move it all the way up there by the quotient. Now I am going to tell you, beware. My remainder will never be more than my divisor. If this is 6 or more, that means that 6 would have went into it another time. So that's just a way to check yourself. Make sure the remainder is not more than my divisor. Okay, so I am going to check it with multiplication. So I'm going to take 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Add in your remainder. So that equals 35. And did that equal your dividend? Check. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. I hope you're following along with me. Hope you're doing your math journal right now with me. All right, 94 in all, 7 in each group. How many groups? So my total is 94. That goes in my den because it's the dividend, divided by my divisor of 7. And we're solving for the quotient. So I ask myself first, divide. How many times does 7 go into 9? Well, one group of 7 is 7. 2 groups of 7 is 14, and that's too much. So it goes in there one time. Divide, multiply. 1 times 7 is 7. Divide, multiply, subtract. 9 minus 7 is 2. Subtract and bring it down. So now we start all over to divide. How many times does 7 now go into 24? Here's my 7s. How many times does it go into 24? Oh, 28's too much. So it's on top of the line 3. Since it's on top of the line, I write it here on top of the line as well. So I take the number, 7 times 3, or 3 times 7 equals 21. Divide, multiply, subtract. 4 minus 1 is 3. And bring it down. Is there another digit to bring down? Nope. So that 3 represents my remainder. So let's see. Miss Elder had, let me think of a problem real quick. Miss Elder's class sold 94 boxes of cookie dough. 7 students sold them. How many did they each sell? 13 with a remainder of 3. So it would be just each one sold 13, and then one person or more had to sold 3 remaining. Yeah, you get the gist. All right, so we have one more that we're doing together. So hopefully you're in your journal and you're doing this with me. There's 36 in all, 9 groups. How many in each group? So there's 36 in all. That's my total, goes in the den because it's my dividend, divided by 9. Step 1 is to divide. How many times does 9 go into 3? Well, 3 is less than 9, so I can't split 3 10s into 9 groups. So it goes in there 0 times. divide, multiply. 0 times 9 is 0. Subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. Subtract and bring it down. Okay, I ask myself again, I start over with dividing. How many times does 9 go into 36? Here's my 9s. Here's my multiples. Oh, it goes in there perfectly. How many times? 4. It's on top of the line, so it goes on top of the line. 4 times 9 is 36. Subtract, there's none left over. Subtract and bring it down. Is there any more to bring down? Nope. So that means I have a remainder of 0. To check it, I'm going to multiply my two smaller numbers. So 9 times 4 is 36. And there's no remainders to add in there. So is 36 my dividend? Check. All right. Hopefully you did all that in your math journal along with me so you can use your math journal to help you solve the problems today. So you're going to solve 5 problems today for me. And don't forget to send me your picture. I can't find what you did wrong unless you show me your evidence. All right. Y'all are champs. You got this.